Hey Gwenters, and welcome back for another episode of Boring Backdrop. I know it's not as cute as the bookcase, but thanks for coming on a ride with me. Let's jump right into this. The last few decks we've done have been kind of these meta decks. They've had the leaders in them. You can use them with all these new cards. That's great, but I wanted to get to a deck that still has a leader, but is a lot more fun. I just love fun decks, as you guys know. And, you know, Syndicate got some love this season, but I got it in all the wrong ways. I feel like they reworked them first and then forgot about what they did with them as they built new cards. I think Scoia'tael is very similar. Like they created Symbiosis and like, ooh, this will be really cool. Symbiosis will be like a really cool thing we can do. People can put Gourd in with it. There's a bunch of fun stuff you could do in nature cards and replay with that Forest Protector. And then they built Syndicate, and then they built the Nilfgaard decks, and then they built the Skellige decks, and they forgot about how much better those decks were and those new cards were than Syndicate. And as I was pondering on this dilemma, I kept staring at this card. And I kept thinking to myself, there's gotta be a purpose for this card in life. There's no other card I've ever seen like it in Gwent, right? There's no card that has 5 conditions on the card, and certainly not one that has like weird point slamminess in a variety of ways. So I think like Yen's Invocation is a good example of a super annoying special card that can really reverse fortunes in a game, especially with Joachim on like a multi-card play, right? Where you can just take your opponent's best card, slam it back down with Joachim, plus it up by 8 points, and just wreck their lives. I think also like you can do a banish with Korathi Heat Wave. Those are true, but those are like singularly focused. Collusion, as you're going to read here, does a lot of stuff. And if you have the right cards on the board, it's going to do them all at the same time. So really, this deck centers around Collusion. So, first off, I think that this card wasn't as useful before, but I think the real key here are Fallen Knights, and this deck kind of revolves around them a little bit. So they were the one big pickup I think that Syndicate made this season, and we're going to get into that. But biggest thing you need to know, Blind Eyes are going to increase all effects by 1. Crown Splitters are going to boost an allied unit with the lowest power by 4. Cut-ups are going to damage an enemy unit with the highest power by 4. Now these are really good for dominance, anti-dominance plays against monsters, I found. It's kind of like a weird counter, but it actually works. Firesworn, if you have a Firesworn on the board, you're gonna spawn 2 Firesworn Zealots, and then Tide Cloaks, you're gonna gain 4 coins. Now it's important to remember here, Blind Eyes are gonna increase these effects by 1. So this is gonna be boost by 5, damage by 5, and then spawn 3 Firesworn Zealots. I mean, this alone right here is 6 points. I mean, yeah, that's the same as Congregation, but I mean, look at how Congregations play with Fallen Knights and tell me that you don't want another Congregation, right? Tide Cloaks are then going to get you 5 points, 5 coins, which could be more than 5 points. And it just plays as like a really interesting card that is a very unexpected win condition. Passiflora is in here because we're going to need those Blind Eyes anyway for that 1 point increase, and because I think if I was asked like which is the best internal faction, I would say Blind Eyes. I think Blind Eyes is actually the best Crime Syndicate within the Syndicate deck, even with the reworks to Firesworn. I think the low provision cost, high value cards, Street Urchins, tons of flexibility, and then you get the Passiflora Peaches and the Sly Seductri, as you guys know I've called before. Really good points that you can get out there. So Tax Collector is the only odd man out, so I'm just going to cover him real quick and then get into the others. The passive coin generation is just helpful. I was running, I wanted to show this with Jacques Miraculous Child, and I got some Twitter streams with this in it too, but you can go back and see some of my other footage with Bincy Blummervolt, and I actually like her a little bit more if I was to choose, but I just really want to show how it works with him. And if you're unfamiliar with Bincy, basically she's like the coolest round 1 play as long as the opponent's not running some crazy removal. just because she's gonna boost herself by 1 for each coin gained. She kind of reminds me of like Dagor. She's range locked instead of melee locked. They both come out as 4. They're both 10 provisions. Every time you do something, they boost themselves by 1 point. Dagger, I think, gets a little bit more play than Bincy does, but you can just get you points without you having to do anything as well. And coins are a little bit easier to generate than damages at times. But if you're playing Tiger's Eye, which I do recommend, she's just going to go ahead and get boosted up by 4. And then Hidden Cash, the leader ability, has 2. So she's going to go to 10 points. Boom, boom. First round, first play. Great blue coin play, in my opinion. You're loaded up with 6 coins at that point, and you have a few options you can do. So, but jumping into the others, so Jacques does play. We're going with a Neuromancy here, so he's only going to play as de Aldersberg. He's not going to play as Grandmaster, but he's going to have this Prophet of 4, Tribute of 4, and then he's going to spawn 2 of these Flaming Rose Footmen. He also plays 2 Firesworns down in first round as Miraculous Child, so don't sleep on him. Feel free to use him on first round if it's going to get you the win, in my opinion. I actually think he's one of the best leaders for first round play. The other one I'd probably say is Varaxis, but in my opinion, Varaxis is the most trashy of all of them, and we'll get to him next week. But they're good. Sewer Raiders here, good for summoning. And again, I really like this Hidden Cash leader. I do think they need to revisit this. I think they need to change it so that hordes require 3 less coins and you gain 2 coins. I think that the 3 less coins made more sense with synergy with certain cards, Flying Redanian being one. Having a horde of 6 makes more sense than having a horde of 7, just because of how coins pass on from one round to the next. So I think that skewered nerf that they did really ruined this deck, ruined this leader ability, and I really hope they fix this to make it a little bit more fun to play with. I mean, nobody plays horde anymore, but we're going to show you how we can make it work, and it works really well with Von Hurst. So Von Hurst is going to have horde of 3. And then he's going to spawn a Firesworn Zealot in his row every round at the end of the round, so long as you're at horde of 3. I like to play him on ranged behind Imki because she gains 2 coins. So long as I have 1 coin at the end of the round, he's going to go ahead and pick up. That's going to go up to 3 coins. And because he's after Imki in play order, he is going to spawn that Firesworn Zealot so long as I have at least 1 coin at the end of my turn. And that's going to just keep on taking away 2 points from me. And then these Fallen Knights are going to make it so I just get ridiculous bonkers points. A lot of people like to play these with like a bunch of crimes. I think that's fine. It works all right. But I actually love strip out the coin, strip out those crimes, and just go for straight up spawn with this Von Hurst. Congregation plays really well with them. If you play it to their row, you get 6 points from this card, plus 3 points of boost for 3 spawns, and another point for crime. So you have here, very similarly, in my opinion, like the Heimei Protector and the Drummond Berserker. This is a phenomenal synergy play. So here you get 6 points, and then he goes from 4, boosted up by 3, and then 1 more. So he'll go up to 8 points. So you get 14 points between a 6-point card and a 4-point card, so pretty good delta there. And he's just going to keep ticking away on more points with that Von Hurst play, and then also with Jacques de Alderberg and Collusion is going to work really well. And the other thing we have in here that I have really come to love is Igor the Hook. Now Igor is going to, if you have 2 coins, if you have at least 5 coins, you can go ahead and spend that ability, and it has a cooldown of 1, so you can do it every turn. He's going to copy one of your bronze cards, and I strongly suggest copying those Fallen Knights. You can also copy a Sly Seductress to get the Bonded. You can also copy a Passive Floor of Peaches. You could even copy like a Urchins if you just want another spend. So he's just really good. And sorry I backed out of this, but I think Igor the Hook is what really drives this deck, along with Collusion, and I think in the short round Passive Flora as well. But last but not least, Bloody Good Friends are kind of a linchpin for this with Collusion. So I do like their Insanity play. I like the Fee play. It's really good against Northern Realms, I've found, to just knock off those boosts so that Visegard plays for fewer points. But they're also really good because they have crown splitters and cut-ups. So even if this is the only card you have on the board when you drop down Collusion, you're going to boost them by 4, and you're going to damage the highest enemy unit by 4. So even though this is an 11 provision point card, that's still pretty valuable and still can do you a lot of good. And I've got to stop clicking on that ore, but we're going to get there. So anyway, I think that basically runs you through this deck. This is a much longer walkthrough than normal, I get that, but people are really afraid of Syndicate. They are more difficult to play. They're harder to get. This is a complicated deck. There's no way around that. But embrace the complication. Have some fun. Do some tricky things. Do some stuff that's hard for your opponent to get. And if you hate Nilfgaard as much as I do, and I am a Nilfgaard hating man, this is a super fun deck to play because bribery is basically worthless. Like maybe you grab Jacques de Alderberg, but he usually plays as Miraculous Child for them. Because I'm able to pressure them in round 1, but even if he doesn't, like, he's the best play they get out of this. Everybody else requires coins. So if they steal your M key on like an enslaved deck, you're in trouble, but otherwise you're good. Alright. Excuse me. We've actually got some really good cards going on right here. Blacksmith is a great spender, and so is Street Urchins. So I'm going to tuck back in Sea Jackal. There's the other one. We're going to still tuck back in the other one. And we get Passiflora. So the one thing with Passiflora, this deck is a little thinner on blind eyes than other decks. So you just have to kind of keep track. I have 3 still in deck. But I only have like 4 total in this deck, so you gotta make sure you keep 2 of them and that you have access to them. This Oneiromancy though can be really helpful to solve that problem, but I actually think we're gonna probably pull Igor the Hook here. We need to make sure we keep 1 Firesworn, and it looks like there is a Fallen Knight in here and there is a Congregation in here, so we're gonna be okay. And then this Coerced Blacksmith is actually Crown Splitters. If you play the game, I think that's because basically this guy is still making weapons for your homeboy. So Von Hurst needs 3 coins to get rockin', but these Sewer Raiders do not, so we're just gonna get them out. Looks like he's playing a boost deck, which is fine. If you've seen my Aglaïs and Ethne video, it can be pretty fun. You can do a lot of fun stuff with boosts. Dwarves, though, I don't know. And we'll see. We'll see how it plays. So I think biggest thing for me, to be honest, is actually just this passive point coin generation. But I'm actually going to do it, I think, with Coerced Blacksmith, so we can boost up this Fallen Knight. We'll drop down Von Hurst, then Fallen Knight, and then Igor, and we'll let Igor take it away. Interesting play here. I actually probably would have gone for the Blacksmith. Makes me wonder if he doesn't have much removal. So we'll go Von Hurst here. Now he's got to have those 3 coins, otherwise I probably would spend 1 to boost him up to 6. But we're just gonna let him take away.
Have you made your offering?
He doesn't seem concerned with removal, so I actually think we're gonna go for Imki. Just so we can get our Flying Redanian. She's got to go 2 turns for that. So this could be a Mahakam Horn. It could be a Spring Trap. You know me, I love traps. So I'm actually going to go Oneiromancy here, and I'm going to play Igor just in case it is a Spring Trap. He will survive. It's not, so my bet is on Mahakam Horn. Out comes Redanian. Now we may have overplayed a bit this turn since he's kind of gone all in on bronzes. But we're doing this for science, right? Oh, Spring Trap. That's actually a pretty good play, just to erase all of those units, but you could have done better. Alright, Igor, we spawn one of these, and cool thing here, it's a spawn, so it's actually going to count that. And then I actually prefer to use the Insanity just because it's kind of a waste of coins otherwise. So we can actually use the insanity next turn and then actually use it again if we really want to. And I think he's just going to find himself outpaced. So he's committed Systemasis. Crushing Trap is the only other big one that he's spent here. So I probably want to keep it a little thinner on my choices. And we've got Von Hurst working. So we're going to go boom. Top them off. And then we just need one coin, right? So, although this is my other piece of advice, if you're playing with Syndicate, something you might not know, you want to end on evens, because you're going to keep your half of your coin count rounded down between turns. I think he's in a terrible position here. Like, look, every turn we now get a passive 5 points. Boom, boom, boom for that spawn and the spawn here. So I'm gonna just tuck this in, even if he makes a play here. I don't think he can come back. Yeah, I don't think this is enough. Certainly not a choice I'd be making. But I don't want to really spend any of these. Maybe we could go for Street Urchins. That wouldn't be the end of the world. But I like this Passiflora cadence. He's got to make up. Like, we're gonna go up to 66 points, right? And he's gonna have to make a play and come back again. So we will actually go up to 71 points. So he's got to almost double his score. I think we just wish him good luck and send him on his way. Because we will get that one more spawn. Like, we could have played this for coins, but I'm pretty happy. So that's an interesting play with Aglais, and you get this tempering bonus. This is one really interesting way I've seen people play Aglais. But it's important to do maths. Do your maths. Oh, how crippled would you feel right now? Yeah, play my Aglais deck. We should send him a link afterwards. Yeah, I just also think like playing Aglais first round is just I don't want to say sad because that sounds mean, but it is just kind of sad. So I think we can keep Jacques here. We'll go ahead and use Sea Jackals and Street Urchins to try to tempo out this round. See if we can just do it with 2 of them. Everything else I kind of really want for later. These Peaches, Collusion. I mean, maybe we tuck back in. Let's just keep one of these. Okay, actually, this is... Tax Collector is a perfect between the round play. He's going to get you 2 coins if they just dry pass. Yeah. So, and I love playing down round as Syndicate. A little bit different from everyone else. Because I can play this leader ability each turn. And I'm going to be able to get 2 more coins. So I had 8 coins from the first round, so I started with 4, and you're gonna see me end this round with 8 coins again. So I enter the next round with 4 coins, which just gives me some flexibility. It's just good to have coins. They can be daunting, they can be scary, but I think you'll find that this deck actually gives you some really good coins flexibility. You get a reasonable number of spenders, a reasonable number of earners, and I find that that is a good kind of sweet spot to hit. We have our blind eyes in those 2. I would really like to get the Firesworn. These are our only Tide Cloak. Jacques is Firesworn. I think we can go ahead and grab Fallen Knight. These are really good engines, but I don't want to miss out on another blind eye, and I like everybody else. Sea Jackal is probably the best spender, especially with Horde ability. We'll get into that as we play him, but this is otherwise pretty good. Pretty happy. Collusion would have been the only other card I was really missing. And we will try to play it. I'm just going to try to kind of go for cadence here. And there's like, it's good to have coins. This is going to go up to get us 6 coins, and these guys are going to get us 3. You cap out at 6. So you actually just want to make sure you're not capping out. And just because there's not enough time, I don't have time to kind of break this down. But if I gain those 6 right now, I would go to 9 coins. And these Street Urchins I have to play. So they'll gain their coins first, and then this will gain coins, and then I can spend them. So I need to go down to 0, basically, before I play this Street Urchins. And this shield is really going to help me out with that. So we're going to go ahead here and play this Street Urchin, and then we are going to make sure we stay at 2 for that horde ability, but make sure to beef them up enough so that we can spend the money to get the money. Yeah, we're gonna get a lot of coins here between Passiflora and Collusion. There's gonna be a lot, and we might actually want to play the Fallen Knight first because these count as spawns, so those would actually be 2 points for him. So something to keep in mind. Probably could have done a little bit better with that, but I'm not super worried about it this game. So the biggest thing with Collusion, you need to make sure you have all your cards out on the board. I don't want to trigger those coins quite yet. I don't need to. So we're just going to drop down Sea Jackal. We still have these 2 spenders. And this Bloody Good Friends is actually a good spender here too. And note that since he's boosted, Xavier is, we're actually going to do damage to him with this card. So that can be really helpful actually as well. Let's see here. Now I think we want to go ahead and play these Bloody Good Friends.
We finished then.
And he's gonna get this armor every time. And now we lose that passive to Passiflora Peaches. So we lose the cadence a little bit here. We're just gonna go ahead and pull out. I don't know what that trap is actually, so let's go ahead and use Street Urchins. Take our coins, and that was a good play because they're only 4 points, so that was kind of nice to play into. And we want to keep him because he's our best spender, and Jacques needs 4 coins of room because he's gonna make you that 4 coins, and he's gonna cost 4 to spawn those Flaming Rose Footmen. Traps with dwarves I don't like. If you're gonna do traps, you really gotta do elven scouts in my opinion. Take it or leave it. However you want to write that book. Alright, now I think we'll play him to this row in case it's another spring trap. It wouldn't blow my mind if this was a Mahakam Horn. We'll see at the end of this next round. It could be a serpent trap to destroy my best card. All right, here comes the boost. All right, now you can see how Collusion plays. So I wish I could like play this in slow mo, but we're gonna do 5 damage. Oh, we're gonna get 5 coins. Sorry, 1 second. Let me make sure to do that first. We're gonna do 5 damage, 5 boost, 3 Fire Sworns, and then we're gonna rock and roll. So we hit our 7 coins. We're gonna drop this down. Then we play Jacques. I'm only doing this fast now because I anticipate he's gonna pass. We spawn these guys, max out that boost there, and then you can do your damage, whatever you want to do to make yourself feel good. And these guys have insanity, so they can actually do that damage straight up. Without losing anything. Yep, it is Mahakam Horn, so it goes off when we pass. Not nearly enough. Anyway, as you guys saw, important to do your math first off, but that Igor play round 1 really kind of put him to bed. The Aglaïs and Systhenesis were just useless in the face of that high pressure play with really high tempo with those 3 Fallen Knights. They obviously played the same row. So I maybe should have been worried about a Yurden, but that probably would have been the only thing that would have really stressed me out for that. But like we saw, he had to play 3 more cards to get it even. So even if he had played a Yurden, we were just getting so many passive points from the spawns and the boosts. I just really like this deck. I think Collusion is a card I honestly have never seen played against me before. And as you guys saw from that final play, we got 5 coins, which actually got the boost on the Tide Cloak. He boosted to 6 points for 4 of those coins. So that's like 6 points right there. We get the 5 points of boost. That's 11. We get the 5 points of damage. That's 16. We get the 3 Fire Sworn. That's 22. Plus the 3 boost to our Fallen Knight. So that's another 25 plus the 1 because it's a crime for Intimidate. So we are at 26 points. And I feel like I'm forgetting. Nope, I think that's it. So anyway, so 26 point play off of that one Collusion card. And that's basically when you get it all set up with each of those cards. So really good in a long play. But even if you just play like a Fallen Knight and those Bloody Good Friends, that's going to be a good number of points for you as well. You add a blind die to it, and it tops you up one more on each of those plays. So lots of options, lots of fun, totally unexpected, out of the blue. I've had really good time with this deck. I've actually beat a couple of Skellige decks with it, even though it doesn't have Banish. You just have really high point potential with that Igor. You got to be a little careful of removal, but it's pretty fun. And it goes toe-to-toe with a lot of those big swarming monster decks like Ethereal as well. So I think it's a really good deck, pretty good win rate with it, and I hope you guys can get out there and play it and keep on Gwenting yourselves. Thanks for joining.